Om Trayambakam Yajamhe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam Urvarukhameva Bandhanat Mrityur Mokshayamamritat. Om Namah Shivaya. Namaskar everyone, and a special welcome to this very special occasion of Shivratri. Let me take the opportunity to wish all of you, wherever you are viewing from, a most blessed and divine Shivratri. One of the higher meanings of this great festivity and festival of Shivratri, it is a connection. It is a connection of the higher self. For when the self is connected to the divine, then our view of the world is going to be a joyous and a happier and a pure one. Shivratri is a night of Shiva, great night of Shiva. The word Shiva means auspiciousness, and Maha means a great, Ratri means a night. It is a night where we ask Bhagavan Shiva, the Lord, to remove the darkness through all the auspicious actions, where the mind becomes spiritual and enchanted by the various worship of Lord Shiva. This worship is done throughout the world, and there is one of the meanings of the Shiva Puran that clearly states the significance of this Shiva Ratri, how it originated. And the scriptures went on to describe the churning of the ocean between the Devas and the Asuras, the good and the bad men, in search for nectar. And we too, as human beings, we are in search for the nectar of goodness and God. And to do this, we need to churn the mind for this sweetness of divinity to emanate. And just as a simile, just as the milk is churned and the ghee or the dahi or the curd comes out, so too when the mind is churned, the goodness and God comes through the process of all this fasting and worship and chanting. So while the churning of the ocean was going on, the poison called the halahal poison emanated, which was very dangerous. It was a very serious toxic fume that was emanating from this ocean. And the pain was very severe, that they had no choice than to turn to the compassionate one, Daya Sagara, the compassionate Shiva, who mentioned to them that I will consume the halahal poison that is so poisonous to the world and all of creation. And Lord Shiva agreed to swallow the poison. And so, my dear friends, when he did this, his throat began to burn him, and that throat became blue. And it's amazing why the color blue is mentioned, because blue is the chakra of the throat. As singers and musicians and also speakers, that is the color of chakra that is thought of before speaking or singing. And it is said all the devas, they came for that night, the entire night, and they kept vigil for the entire night just to cool the throat of Shiva. And in this way they offer all the various substances like the ghee and the dahi and the milk and the holy water, the Ganges, and all the various substances that would have cooled the throat of Lord Shiva. Even the moon came on the forehead of Lord Shiva, because the moon is a symbol of cooling. The moon is a symbol of the mind. When the mind is with Shiva, it is cool, it is always peaceful. But once the same mind is out in the world, in worldly thoughts, the mind becomes again very weak and is tempted to get involved in the materialistic world. And hence, because of the worship, intense worship by the devas for the entire night of Shiva, this night ever since came to known as Maha Shivratri, the great night of Shiva. And on this night, as we know, we offer the milk that represents pure devotion. We offer curd, the curd or the dahi that represents pure thoughts. We offer the honey that represents pure character. We offer the ghee that represents pure actions. And we also offer the Ganges water, or the pure water, that represents pure knowledge. And these are the 5 different aspects and attributes that qualifies us to rise ourselves to a high level of consciousness. Pure devotion, pure character, pure thoughts, pure knowledge, and, my dear friends, the pathway of yoga. And during this very significant time, it is a time to transcend all our negativities so that we can bridge ourselves to Shiva, the higher consciousness, the consciousness which leads us to God in oneness. And this is how Shivratri was celebrated. It continues today in the world, a celebration for enlightenment, a night to discover the self, a night that allows us to be aware of the divinity right within us. It is not merely a dry physical worship by the hands, but it is a worship of convincing the mind and the heart through worship and prayer and chants and meditation to go within and transform the materialistic mind to a spiritual mind. Only in this way we can connect to our higher self, the higher consciousness, and we can view the world again in a brighter state of mind. On this night of Shivratri, let us make the attempt to visit the mandirs and put our hearts and soul into the worship by listening to the chants, the discourses, by worshipping the holy lingam that represents the emblem of Shiva, and by transforming our lives to a much more divine state. This is the real meaning and the philosophy, the high level of teachings of Shivratri in connection to our personal life. May Lord Shiva, the auspicious one, who is always ready to accept all our negative actions and to bless us with pure ones, and to relieve us from all sorrows and depression and sadness and difficulties. I believe truly when the mind is convinced and changed, when we change our perception towards the divine light, we see the world differently. We see our relationship differently. We see our rapport with things and people around us differently. When we want to change the world, we can't physically outside, but we can change our world, which we can see a better world outside. And there are so many people out there who is so convinced by the hardship and the hard times and the difficult times, and the challenges that they get from their jobs and the outer forces. And the only way to save ourselves and to rise above these challenges is to rise inwardly and transform the mind. Only then we can see a world that can be led to transformation. So in this time of Shivratri, let us transform the mind. And when we transform the mind through the devotion we offer to Shiva, the world can be a better place to live. May we chant the name of Shiva, and may we be uplifted on this very sacred and auspicious time of Shivratri. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Samsada Saram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridayad Binde Bhavam Bhavani Saitam Namani. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om.